Welcome to episode 258. Stephen Cohen, King of Wall Street, 10 Trading Rules. This is an outline of episode 258. Rule number 1, how do stocks move? Using 433.
A stock move is 40% down to the market, 30% down to the sector, but only 30% down to the stock. And his comment was, listen, I don't know if those percentages are exactly correct, but conceptually the idea makes sense. And you know, if you've been trading stocks for any period of time, you'll know that's exactly pretty much right. Most of the time, if the market's getting hammered, your stock is getting hammered. If the market's up, your stock is up if you're trading stocks. The sector as well, if you're trading retail, you're trading supermarkets, you're trading mining, you're trading oil and gas, whatever. If that's up and the market's up, likely is your stock's going to be up. And 30% of it is down to the actual stock. That's when you get the differences between stocks within a sector. So one stock might be outperforming another, and that's when you get that slight difference over time, because even the market.
Rule number 2, information is the edge of trading.
Cohen's strategy was to get as much information as possible to have an edge, to be able to, make money either on the upside or the downside, depending on how a company's earnings come out.
People were throwing around this term edge a lot, which essentially means, what's your information advantage in the market? What do you know that other people don't know?
Hedge fund traders also exploited the fact that they were very popular with stockbrokers on Wall Street.
The reason why Wall Street loves these guys so much is because they're trading every day. So the market activity they generate is immense. And as they're trading so much, they're giving the Wall Street firms commissions. As the Wall Street firms are getting commissions, guess what? They give the hedge funds their best information.
And more importantly, they would get the information first.
The more commission you pay, the better service you're going to get.
In the industry, it's known as a first call.
Rule number 3, look for triggers. Let me give you 3 examples of triggers. Federal Reserve meeting announcement. For example, drug trial result announcement. Also, company quarterly statement announcement. Rule number 4, be flexible. Have your position if you are wrong.
Move with your feet if you think you're wrong. What does he mean by that? So he would say to his traders, listen, if you think you're wrong in a position, halve it. If you still think you're wrong, halve it again. The point is, then at least you're down to a really small size. It's not going to damage you as a trader. The point is, don't sit there and get run over by the truck. Now,
Rule number 5, you cannot control the market, but you can control yourself.
You can't control the market, but you can control your reaction to come to as traders. But we can control, our response to the market. And he says here, I examine what I do all the time. That's what trading is all about. And that's where self-awareness comes in as a trader. You can't control the market's going to crash. You can't control it's going to rally. You can't control it's going to do nothing. All you control is your response to that. That's it.
Rule number 6, stick to yourself. Have a strategy. Stick to what you do best and do it over and over again.
But we do it, and we have found people who are doing. We like people who do a strategy, stick to what they do best, and do it over and over again. But without question, you can go around the world, and there are pockets where it seems like there's more alpha than maybe in the U.S. right now, or less competitive.
Do you think?
Rule number 7, trading is pattern recognition.
Had 2 people in my life that used to always talk about stocks. One was my grandmother, who used to talk about American home products. And, I used to look and...
Your grandmother?
My grandmother.
That's awesome.
And then there was another lady, an African-American lady, who used to take care of us when my parents went on vacation. And she used to talk about her stocks, and I noticed every 6 months she'd come back and it would go up 50%, maybe double. And so I go, this is pretty interesting. I don't know what's going on. And so my dad used to bring the Post home every day, and you'd read the sports, and then the financial pages are right behind it. And so that's where it started. And then I started hanging out in brokerage firms when I was 14, and started looking at the tape then. And I can remember going to college and, missing a lot of classes, but hanging out in brokerage firms there and just refining my skills. And, I was doing it my own way. And that was what it was pattern recognition. And you know, I didn't know it then, but that's what I was doing. And you know, and it was working for me, so I kept.
Rule number 8, if you're not innovating, you are dying.
I saw my father retire, great guy, vital guy, and then he retired, and he wasn't doing anything, you know, and I just looked at that, and that's why, you know, I just get restless, and that's why I was up in Silicon Valley, that's why I'm always trying to do new things, because, you know, and the best ideas come out of the firm. And so if you listen closely, and if you're supportive, and if you're willing to fail, I mean, not every idea is going to work. And if you allow people to fail and say, listen, and you might even learn something in the failing, I think that's a good strategy, you know. And I think if you're not innovating, you're dying. If you're stagnating. And people know it in the firm. They want to be at an exciting place where they can learn new things. And that
Rule number 9, trading talent is scarce.
But I would argue that, you know, our view at Point 72 is that talent is really thin. And we probably only accept, or even, we winnow down the funnel down to maybe 2 to 4% of the actual candidates that we might be interested in. And frankly, I mean, I'm blown away by the, you know, the lack of talent. It's not easy to find great people.
My job's not easy, Stu.
No. That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Rule number 10, trading is like sports. They are both high performance. In 1988, he hired Kiev, who was an Olympic psychology coach.
I came to trading in the late 80s after having worked with the U.S. Olympic Sports Medicine Committee in 1978, 1979, 1980, 81, working with athletes in terms of trying to help them manage stress and enhance performance. And I'd written a couple of articles about my experience with the athletes, and along about 88, 89, a fellow a trader came to see me with the idea that trading was very much like an athletic event, and he wanted to find out what some of the tricks of sports were. And
that trader who came to him in 1988 was Stephen Cohen. Stephen Cohen was still working at Grantel then. Stephen Cohen was 32. In 1992, Stephen Cohen founded his hedge fund, SAC Capital.
I began working with him 88, 89. In 92, he started a hedge fund. I used to work about 2 hours a week with the hedge fund. I'd meet with the traders and we'd talk about various principles of psychology and ways of maximizing performance. And this has progressed over the years so that now I spend close to 4 full days a week working at this hedge fund and in one of its subsidiaries, dealing with traders from the psychological point of view. Not so much in terms of what happened when you were a child, but more in terms of what were you experiencing when you were trading, what was the stress you were going through, what are you doing when you start to look at your trading process that's taking you out of your trades, what mistakes are you making, what psychological habits are interfering with your maximizing your performance. And so that's kind of the angle that I've approached trading.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave your questions and comments below. Wishing everyone peace and prosperity.